Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. Hello, hello, hello. Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all. It is Sunday, vaping September 8th, and that's what we're doing. And Spade's just up in the mic, letting everybody know what he's vaping on. That's nice. I have a really fun thing that I want to go over with you guys. Something I don't think we've ever covered. And
Ooh,
we are on our 103rd outside of society.
really?
Holy macaroni.
Ooh, nice. Uh,
103, huh? Wait,
103.
130 you said? 103?
103.
yeah,
Three
the
we had to
100
take.
mark we passed.
Yeah, the third one, the other three we had to take down because of
Good
one.
job.
Yes, I mean official. There's 100. Unofficial. There's 103. But three are stowed away on a hard drive that cannot be accessed in case if I ever do run for presidency. It is
Nice.
encrypted, and you are not getting in that unless you can figure out a 64 character password. Um,
64 characters.
64 characters, bro, and it's all special
Jesus.
characters. It's not like you would. And it's not even written down. I just remember it. Um,
Not
and
even a sentence or something. It's like, yeah, all
nope,
different.
it's one word. Well, it's a sentence, but it's all put together like one word and a lot of special characters, and I'll never forget it. So
Oh, so you're. Oh, I was just gonna say, what if you forget that?
it's impossible.
That's
It is impossible for me to forget it. It's what it means, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Good
So
job.
thank you, thank you, thank you for the donations. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Combat. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Monkey. Yes, we are dual streaming today, but I want to, first off, you'll see that there's a missing link on our platform. If you don't know, you don't know. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not here to publicize this information. All I could say is
become a patron.
to become a patron,
With
or if you are one, to maybe check out Discord every now and then.
Discord. Yeah, be active
Spade.
enough.
Spade.
And you're in the
That's to
know.
you. That's to you, Spade.
I
We're not
figured.
having
I
Jordan
know.
today. No, nope, not having Jordan anymore. But if okay. So yeah, let's move forward with it, shall we? The JFK assassination, man. What's the infatuation with it throughout the whole world? Do you guys are infatuated with it? Do you have your suspicions? Do you care about it? Um, what's your opinions?
Ooh,
Go ahead, Matthew. We'll let the
nice one.
non-US guys.
I think it's kind of way back when it was all romantic, the romanticization of that president, and he was very popular and whatever, and then he gets ended, and it's a big
Unalived.
mystery, and
That was very PC of you. I like that. I like that. It was
and then
very ended.
I
Okay.
think I think it's there are things that are very hard to explain, like he had a non-repeating rifle, so shot,
Bolt action.
and
Yep.
he, yeah, I mean that's one of the things they've tried to reconstruct it, and there's no way the point of view he has isn't the correct one. He has a single action, and then the amount of shots he supposedly took, that's not impossible to do. They've tried to reconstruct, and I think that's where the conspiracy things and he kind of went against the grain as well with some things. So
So
yeah,
you think it was
yeah,
set up, right? That's what you're
yep,
saying. Okay,
yeah,
Spade.
yeah. There's some stuff we're not privy to.
I feel like yes, it was set up. There is a bigger conspiracy out there, and it's about time we know. I mean, it's been like what 60 years since then, so I think it's time they let us know what the deal is.
Okay,
I
well,
don't
yeah.
think
I
I
it
mean,
mean,
it
was.
the
was
only way you'll know is if you become president, right? The only
well,
way you'll know what happened is if you become president,
what was it? 10
because
years.
Even
everything's
then,
sealed.
hold on. What was it, 10, 15 years ago? No, 10 years ago, where they had to release the information that they had due to public domain, right? You have to
Yeah.
release it. And whatever they did release said nothing at all. It just,
Right. It was all retracted, redacted.
well, there's a lot of, there's a lot of, retracted is
A lot of
what
black
you
stuff.
do with a ruler. But
Yes.
let me say my opinion real quick before we get into it, because I have a video I'm going to share. Of course, it's going to go with the topic, and it's a very good video, and it's going to make you question a lot of what you think happened and where we are today. And then, before we do that, I want to say my opinion. It's hard for me to say who I think it is, but I will say this: it is impossible that a single man did this. It's impossible. Yes. That you've had the best snipers in the world, the best shooters. You've even had Guinness Book of World Record shooters try to attempt this shot. And I think one could do it, but that was under pristine conditions. Anyway, I digress. Let me just share this video to you guys. So strap in. It's 16 minutes. Whether we pause, play, if you guys want to interrupt at any given time, at least let it play for a minute if you are going to interrupt. And that being said, let's get this ball rolling. Let me get Matthew down here. Let me get Spade up here. Let me get this guy all gone so we don't have two of those. Okay. All right, are we ready? This is fun.
Yes,
sir.
Strap in, everybody. This is going to make you really think. Tell me if we have audio.
50 years later, we're still obsessed
Yes? Okay, let's get it.
with John F. Kennedy's assassination, and with good reason. Here are just some of the bizarre facts that have us still wondering what really happened in Dallas that day. When historians call Lee Harvey Oswald enigmatic, they're severely underplaying just how mysterious he was. There's a lot we don't know about the 20th century's most infamous assassin. We don't know why he did it, and we don't know why he spent the weeks before the assassination hanging out in Mexico City. As Professor T. Jeremy Gunn put it to NPR, back then the city was, quote, the spy capital of the Western Hemisphere. Cuban agents, Soviet moles, and CIA operatives all rubbed shoulders there, and Oswald was among them, raises all sorts of questions.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma!
We do know Oswald used his time in Mexico to try and secure a Soviet visa. We don't know why the records of this are all screwed up. The day he visited the Soviet embassy just happens to be the day the CIA's camera wasn't working, so we have no pictures. We once had a recording of a tapped phone call from a guy claiming to be Oswald. The controversial former FBI director J. Edgar Hoover decided it wasn't Oswald's voice, so the tape vanished. That's before we get on to the random guys Oswald was with. According to Politico, CIA informer saw Oswald with two young Americans at a party in the city. We still haven't established their identities. All we know is that they spent a few days hanging out with a soon-to-be presidential assassin and then vanished forever. One of the spies in Mexico City at the time of Oswald's visit was June or Jerry Cobb, an Oklahoma girl who turned pro-Castro revolutionary before becoming disgusted with Cuba and turning CIA spy. Cobb was a valuable intelligence asset. Her claims were usually taken seriously, so when she followed up Kennedy's assassination by telling her CIA handlers Oswald had been seen at a Mexico City party where people joked about killing JFK, you better believe the feds listened. The story comes via Politico, and we should say here that its specifics remain shrouded in mystery. Cobb's file is still under lock and key for security reasons, so Politico's reporting comes only from related CIA and FBI files. Still, it's fascinating reading. Mexican playwright Elena Garro reported the party to Cobb, saying it was a meeting place for Cuban diplomats. Some were even joking about how useful it'd be if Kennedy was killed. Garro's information was so shocking that the FBI interviewed her in 1964. But Cobb's intel was disparaged by the CIA, and no follow-up action seems to have been taken. No evidence connecting the assassination to Cuba or the Soviets has ever surfaced, even after the opening of the KGB files. Still, it does make you wonder what exactly happened at that party and just what Oswald was doing there. Perhaps the strangest thing about Oswald is that he didn't spend the run-up to Kennedy's death being tailed by the CIA, FBI, and every other department. Oswald was a defector. On October 16, 1959, he arrived in Moscow and wrote to the Soviet authorities, renouncing his American citizenship. Then, when the Kremlin rejected his overtures, Oswald tried to kill himself. That was enough to grant him a temporary stay in the USSR. The KGB shipped him off to Minsk to work in a radio factory. According to Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Anthony Summers, Oswald later claimed he'd offered the Soviets information on America's U-2 spy planes.
No, sir, I am not a communist. I have studied Marxist philosophy, yes, sir, and also other philosophers.
Flash forward to June 1962, and Oswald was back in the States, this time with a Soviet wife and newborn daughter. Given his history, you'd probably expect his return to be announced by dozens of men in dark glasses bundling him out of the airport and into a mobile interrogation chamber. Yet the CIA never questioned him. The FBI didn't place him under surveillance. For whatever reason, a defector was given free rein to waltz around the country until he shot the president. In the video of Ronald Reagan being shot,
It's a little interesting, no? You say
Yes,
don't
very.
Want, you say you don't want to be an American citizen, right? You go
Yeah.
to Russia. You try to apply
They
for
say no?
citizenship. They say no. So you think at that point America would be like, "Hey, man, we don't want you back here because you're denouncing your citizenship." Okay, so he comes back to America, and they're like, "Okay, it's no big deal." All right.
It's
Who wanted
okay.
him
Let him
there?
through.
Let's just keep this rolling. This is it gets even more interesting.
the first shot goes off, and within a split second, the president has been whisked away while John Hinckley Jr. vanishes beneath a sea of bodies. Now compare the Kennedy assassination. The first bullet hits JFK in the throat, and the Secret Service does nothing. The second bullet is the headshot that killed Kennedy. 5 seconds passed between the two shots. A high-speed Reagan-style response could have saved the president. Driver William Greer didn't take evasive action. Paul Landis, following the Kennedy car, didn't jump on board and shield the president with his body. The Secret Service guy you see jumping onto the car in the assassination footage, that's Clint Hill, part of the First Lady's detail, fulfilling his duty to protect Jackie. Interviews with Secret Service personnel by Vanity Fair talk about a macho culture where members would refuse food and sleep and spend every night getting crazy drunk. While a no-sleep hangover would explain their inaction, it doesn't explain other weird screw-ups, like why the running boards on JFK's car were retracted, meaning there was no one to protect the president if something happened. Then something happened.
John F. Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time today here in Dallas.
Following Kennedy's assassination, officials tried to trace all possible witnesses.
It was just right by us when it all happened, just right in front of us.
Many were known only by nicknames like Umbrella Man, the Three Tramps, or Badge Man. It took until the 1990s to track most down, or in the case of Badge Man, proved they probably didn't exist. And the hunt isn't over. We still have no idea who the Babushka Lady was. Known for her Russian-style headscarf, the Babushka Lady was on Dealey Plaza filming the assassination. A piece of film would be of unimaginable historical importance. People have been searching for her for decades. In 1970, a woman named Beverly Oliver surfaced, claiming to be the mystery woman. But she said she knew who really killed Martin Luther King Jr. and claimed she was recording JFK's death with a camera that hadn't been invented yet, so serious historians tend to dismiss her. That means there's someone out there with unseen footage of a major historical event who has never turned herself.
Okay, let's go backwards for a second. I want you guys to hear that. I've given this thought. Just hold on, hear it again.
A piece of film would be of unimaginable historical importance. People have been searching for her for decades. In 1970, a woman named Beverly Oliver surfaced, claiming to be the mystery woman. But she said she knew who really killed Martin Luther King Jr. and claimed she was recording JFK's death with a camera that hadn't been invented yet. So,
Okay, with JFK's death, right? Were there cameras that can record?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were the big cameras, the one that you use for TV shows and shit like that.
Wireless?
Like, no, I don't think wireless came in until the 80s or
For
even
the public?
90s.
No.
Like,
Yeah, not
so
for the
she had to
public.
be hooked up to a power source of sorts. They didn't have batteries.
No, or
No,
with,
she
with a reel in it, with film in it.
Yeah, but it would need to
Yeah.
be powered by something. No.
So then it would have the really big batteries. It would have the
Or
really
wind
like
up.
just
Okay, so
No,
so
not
there were
wind up.
cameras that did exist during that time. Yes.
I would believe so. Yeah.
Where is that footage?
In a file
Well,
somewhere in
I
the
think
basement.
Well, but don't all the people who had access to those cameras were like TV stations
Well,
and,
no,
and
they're
the
gonna.
news? And
Well, there
everything?
was a gas station or something that was running some type of surveillance photo, but I'm sure he talks about it in this. We'll see. You just let this roll.
serious historians tend to dismiss her. That means there's someone out there with unseen footage of a major historical event who has never turned herself in. So if you're a headscarf-loving woman who was in Dealey Plaza on November 22nd, 1963, your local FBI office would love to hear from you. After JFK's death, things only got weirder. The body was taken to Dallas Parkland Memorial Hospital, but it barely got through the doors before a fight broke out over who got to perform the autopsy. The local coroner was Earl Rose. Since Kennedy was killed in Texas, he felt it was a state crime that Texas law applied and that he was responsible for the post-mortem. According to the LA Times, however, the Secret Service and Jackie Kennedy disagreed. Things quickly got ugly.
I'm the medical examiner. This is a homicide case. The deceased can't leave until there's been an autopsy.
When Rose tried to physically block the Secret Service from the body, a heated argument broke out. At some point, Kennedy's detail simply grabbed the body. According to some accounts, guns were drawn. Either way, the outcome was the same. Kennedy's remains were transported to Bethesda Naval Hospital in Maryland. Likely as a result of this dispute, there's no longer any ambiguity. A 1965 code makes it clear that attempting to assassinate the commander-in-chief is a federal crime. Given its importance, you might expect JFK's autopsy was done with the utmost diligence. But not only were parts of the autopsy done in a strange way, a whole lot of crazy issues surfaced later. When you're autopsying a body, there are specific procedures you should follow. Removing and weighing the organs is one, something autopsy Dr. James Joseph Humes admitted in 1996 hadn't been done. This pales in comparison to the other things Humes didn't do. He didn't preserve the original JFK autopsy report. He made a handwritten copy, then burned the original. Humes claimed he wanted to stop the blood-stained report from becoming a source of morbid fascination. On the other hand, he failed to destroy at least one other blood-stained document.
Certain people in our government tampered with critical evidence in order to make sure the American people would not know the truth about who murdered the president.
Then there are the autopsy photos. The ones in the National Archive are low quality and don't show important details like the number of bullet wounds. When Professor Gunn showed them to the woman who developed them, Sandra Spencer, as part of his work on the 1992 Assassination Records Review Board, she said they didn't look like the images she remembered processing.
She said that the photographs that she developed had a large massive exit wound in the back of the head.
Next, Gunn tried to match them to photos printed by Spencer's lab shortly before the assassination. The photo paper was completely different, suggesting they came from a different printing session. It sometimes seems the only thing that could shed more light on what happened in Dealey Plaza that day is a deathbed confession from a professional assassin. Well, buckle up, because that deathbed confession exists.
Many strange things were happening, and your Lee Harvey Oswald had nothing to do with them.
In 1966, Herminio Diaz Garcia, a hitman for the Cuban Mafia, died during a raid on a prison. Before he expired, he told fellow mobster Tony Cuesta he'd been responsible for the death of the US president. That's the story investigative journalist Anthony Summers tells in his book on the assassination, Not in Your Lifetime. In 2007, Summers and Robert Blakey, a former chief counsel to the House Select Committee on Assassinations, interviewed Cuban exile Ronaldo Martinez Gomez, who also spoke with the Telegraph in 2013. Gomez said he'd shared a cell with Cuesta, who told him about Diaz's confession. In fact, Diaz was in the United States on November 23, 1963, and had previously carried out 20 political assassinations. Of course, this is just one man's word, and hitmen tend to lie, but there are other bizarre Cuban connections to JFK's murder. Also in 2007, former Kennedy detail Secret Serviceman Abraham Bolden told ABC about a tip-off the service received ahead of JFK's aborted trip to Chicago on November 2, 1963. Two Cuban men with rifles were spotted in a rented room along the motorcade route, but the surveillance operation against them was bungled and the potential assassins vanished. Kennedy was a beloved president, while Sam Giancana was a violent mobster who once worked for Al Capone.
Declined to answer because I honestly believe my answer might tend to incriminate me.
Yet if you were to read books on the lives of both Kennedy and Giancana, you'd find they keep propping up in each other's stories. The coincidences add fuel to the rumors that the Mafia killed Kennedy for riding hard on them. Giancana had ties to JFK's dad, Joseph P. Kennedy, from Prohibition.
The old man Kennedy was a very close friend of Giancana's. They were in business together in the old days, in the bootlegging business.
But the ties may have gone deeper. In 1997, reporter Seymour Hersh wrote in his book The Dark Side of Camelot that Joe Kennedy asked Giancana to help his son win the 1960 election. Then there's Frank Sinatra, who was friends with both JFK and Giancana. Frank's daughter Tina later claimed that her father asked Giancana to lean on the unions to help JFK win the Democratic primaries. JFK and Giancana also shared a mistress, Judith Campbell Exner, who said in 1988 that she arranged secret meetings between them.
I can, at this time, emphatically state that my relationship with Jack Kennedy was of a close personal nature.
The strangest part of all may concern not Kennedy's death, but Giancana's. The mob boss was used by the CIA to attempt to hit on Castro. Just before he could testify before the Senate's Church Committee about his work with the agency, Giancana himself was assassinated. There's almost no official record of Oswald's questioning by Dallas police.
This to me is the most fascinating part right here, what you're about to hear. Like this, all that shit is crazy, but this is where it gets nuts.
or the FBI. The interrogators didn't use a tape recorder and had no stenographers present to take accurate notes. Records of the interrogation of the 20th century's most notorious assassin come solely in the form of handwritten notes made by the two interviewers. These notes are rough and incomplete, offering only the tiniest glimpse inside Oswald's psyche. And incredibly, we only have one set of these notes today, and that's because they were discovered among the personal belongings of former police captain J.W. Fritz in the 1990s and anonymously donated.
Did you kill the president?
No, I've not been charged with that. In fact, nobody has said that to me yet.
Fritz's thing. Oswald repeatedly protested his innocence, claiming that the images of him posing with the rifle used to kill Kennedy were faked. Conspiracy implications aside, this at least suggests Oswald's motive wasn't fame or notoriety. In the decades since Kennedy's death, a whole bunch of records and important documents have vanished. The Mary Farrell Foundation maintains an online database regarding the missing records. While many of the foundation's conspiracy theory claims are unsupported, the missing records are well cataloged. Among those vanished documents are a note written by Oswald and sent to the FBI, an Army intelligence file on Oswald, and Secret Service records in Chicago in November 1963. In addition, there's some evidence the Marine Corps, of which Oswald had been a member, launched its own investigation after the assassination, but no documents from it have ever surfaced. Perhaps even weirder is the story of the missing page from Oswald's notebook, reported in the LA Times. Historian and journalist James Reston Jr. claims Secret Service agent Mike Howard checked Oswald's apartment after the assassination and found a notebook with a page headed, "I will kill." Underneath were the names of an FBI agent, a general, and Richard Nixon. Texas Governor John Connally was also listed with a dagger drawn through his name. Reston views this as more evidence that Oswald meant to kill Connally, who was riding in JFK's car and was badly injured in the assassination. Whether his interpretation is correct or not, it's a moot point. The page was torn out after Howard handed the book over and has been missing ever since. President Kennedy's brain is missing. In 1966, it was revealed to have vanished from a secure room at the National Archives. If you think that's weird, just wait. Historian James L. Swanson wrote in his book End of Days, The Assassination of John F. Kennedy, that he believed the thief was JFK's brother, Robert F. Kennedy. After Kennedy's autopsy, his brain was placed in a stainless steel container. It was kept along with several samples of brain tissue, first by the Secret Service, then at the National Archives. Being both important and utterly morbid, its time at the archives was spent under the watchful eye of JFK's former secretary. That makes its disappearance all the more mystifying. In October 1966, someone went looking for the brain and found it and all the tissue samples had vanished. The Attorney General immediately ordered an investigation. Half a century later, we're still waiting for it to turn up. So where does RFK fit in? Swanson's theory is that Kennedy's brother stole his brain to cover up the massive stew of drugs the president was taking.
Had the American public known just how sick Jack Kennedy was, he probably could not have been a presidential candidate.
According to the Telegraph, JFK was knocking back codeine, Demerol, and methadone for back pain, along with other pills for insomnia and anxiety. In July 2017, a handful of new files on JFK's death were released to the public. This was in accordance with a 1992 law that all records of the assassination had to be declassified by October 26, 2017. While most of the new files were little more than duplicates of already public material, they did contain one strange new nugget of information. From the Warren Commission onwards, the CIA publicly embraced the lone gunman theory that Oswald acted alone. But the new documents revealed that, by the mid-1970s, the CIA no longer believed this. Internally, the agency began to consider JFK's death part of a possible conspiracy, even as they continued to publicly support the theory that Oswald acted alone.
I know what it is to kill someone. You don't bounce and come this way. When you bounce and come this way, you got hit in the front.
What the CIA actually believed happened is vague and sometimes contradictory. Some agents seem to have started taking the Soviets in Cuba seriously as suspects. Others seem to have worried the killing was inadvertently related to their own work. This theory went that Oswald read about CIA assassination attempts on Castro and killed Kennedy in revenge. As Politico notes, if that proved true, it would have raised a terrible question for the CIA. Was it possible that JFK's assassination was blowback for the spy agency's plots to kill Castro?
What this indicates, and this was the judgment of the committee, is that our own people aren't as efficient as we might think they ought to be.
Whatever was really happening inside the agency, the CIA kept its concern private, even from other government agencies. Why they may have felt the need to do so is just one more oddity to add to the unexplained aspects of the JFK assassination. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the KGB files were briefly opened to researchers. Among them was file number 31451, detailing Lee Harvey Oswald's time in the USSR. Before the files were closed again, Russian paper Izvestia reported on some of its contents. But rather than add clarity, the reports only further muddied the conspiracy waters.
So what really happened that day?
Good movie.
Let's just for a moment speculate, shall we?
As a defector, Oswald was of considerable interest to the KGB, yet the files reveal the Kremlin effectively thought he was useless. They're full of tales about how Oswald was a poor shot, ranking only fair in a competition held among workers at his factory. They also detail how the KGB believed Oswald incapable of pulling off Kennedy's assassination.
I didn't believe he could have done it. It seemed to me that he was framed, using the whole situation with the Soviet Union.
While this sounds mysterious, there may be a more mundane explanation. After failing to spot and recruit a man capable of gunning down the American president, the KGB could have been engaging in a serious cover-up. The bigger mystery is what's in the rest of Oswald's file. In 1992, the files were closed once more. According to a blog published by the National Security Archives, Oswald's file consisted of, quote, 5 thick volumes plus a folder tied with shoelaces, and most of it is still unpublished. The file now resides with Belarusian intelligence, where it seems unlikely to ever see the light of day. Could it contain the key to understanding JFK's murder? At this point, anything is possible.
Okay. Interesting. No?
Oh,
very.
Yeah.
Drugs? Really? Drugs? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
drugs
but
and
you know,
drink.
the issue with that is what 50 years later, all of a sudden we have this now known knowledge that he was a drug addict, or he was, because he had problems, he was taking drugs. Like, you don't think that's a little bit too convenient that we find this out 50 years later?
What I think is the most fascinating about that is the drugs, but before that, how come there's no documentation of the courtroom proceedings? How?
Yeah, and then the courtroom proceedings, the cops that interviewed him, there was only written that's too
Medical,
much. So,
right, the
yeah.
medical examiners fighting over who's going to do the autopsy.
There's so much. I can see why there's so much conspiracy about this, because there's so many unanswered questions. You have so many.
For one of those things to go wrong in an investigation, you could say, "Oh yeah, okay, that's just bad luck."
Sure.
But since it's the president of the United States, that's a high priority, high level case. I would think people would be more diligent and careful to not screw
And you have
things
the
up.
top of the
And-
FBI, you have the top of the
Yeah.
CIA, you have everybody working on that. So these people are all vetted, right? You can't
It's not
tell
like
me-
it's gonna be. It's not like it's gonna be Joe Smo that just
No.
got into whatever.
just got
I
out
mean,
of Quantico and he's gonna go work on a case. Bullshit. So how is all of that missing? You have nothing from the courtroom? Nothing.
conveniently.
I love that word, conveniently.
How come you didn't have any press in the courtroom with him or anything? I am so lost. Where is that information?
Well, isn't it also that Oswald isn't the sharpest tool in the box?
He wasn't.
Fair enough, but still, what does that got to do with a stenographer inside of the courtroom with their shorthand?
Oh no, that
You
should be.
understand?
That's
Like, you have nothing?
Well, if you have somebody there taking notes, then people will know what happened. If there's nobody there to take notes,
Or maybe
you could
they
say
did
anything
take
happened.
notes, or maybe they did take notes and they destroyed them.
Oh,
Who's
that
they,
too.
though? Who's they?
Well,
The people behind the scenes.
You honestly think CIA did it? Honestly? I find that hard to believe. I know he wanted to get rid of the CIA. I find it hard to believe that the CIA, I feel like the CIA knows something, right? Obviously. And RFK, the guy that's running, he said if he was president, the first thing he would do is look at those files.
Yeah.
For what?
I wanted to bet you
okay.
he's not
Now
gonna
that you got
find.
close, you're going to go public with that? Like, what do you, and whoever took you out, I'm sure, or whoever took your uncle out, great uncle, second uncle, what is it? What's RFK's relation to JFK?
It's great uncle. Uncle.
It's Robert.
Yeah, because it's his
Kennedy's
father's
nephew, right?
Yeah.
Or is it his son? No, it's not. It can't be his son.
No, it's not his son. He didn't have. No, that's his uncle.
What?
His uncle would have been JFK.
RFK.
Do we really think though that even if you become president, they let you see all
Yes.
of the hidden stuff and
Yes.
all of the?
Yeah, they have to. They have
Yes.
to.
I don't think so.
You really think there's somebody above the president with clearance? Come on. Come on. I mean, maybe,
Dude, the
but
president.
I don't believe it.
The president. The president is a puppet.
Yeah, so that's his uncle. So his dad was
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy. That's his uncle.
Right.
He wants to know what happened to his uncle.
I would too. You wouldn't want to know? Of course you would.
What are you
There's
going
no
to
way
do
that
with
you're
that
not gonna-
information? Now that you're in that position of power where you have that information, what do you do with it?
It depends on what the
Nothing.
information is. If the information shows that something was
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters what it is. Whatever it is, nobody's supposed to know, right? We can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yes.
So if you would have, if you were to know, you would know right now. You don't know. So whatever it is, thank you, Chris. Whatever it is, it's not. No, it is important enough. It's important enough for you not to know.
It's
Or
not. It's
the
not
general
like
public
even
not.
if he would get that information, it's not like let me take a picture of this and send it to the media. And I don't even think they give him that information, to be honest.
Come on.
They're going to give it to him. They will.
Didn't Trump
They will.
say if he gets elected, he gonna give it to him? Didn't he say that? I'm
I don't know.
anybody in
I
chat.
didn't hear that.
I'm pretty sure that.
But he knows. But Trump was president, so he knows already what
I
happened.
don't
You
think he
think
gave
if
a
you
shit,
become
though.
president,
You really think he gives a shit about
No.
JFK? Come on.
if you're somebody like Donald Trump, you're going to sit there and think, I'm in the presidency seat right now. I
can
want
do
to know
anything."
everything. I want to know everything. I want to know what
Give me all
happened
the
with
files.
Abraham Lincoln. Yes, give me all the
everything.
files.
No way. No, maybe.
I think so.
I
think
either
so.
way, no matter what happens, if you find out what actually happens, what are you going to do with it? Whoever
Nothing.
is tied to it, I promise you, that can't
He's
get
dead
out.
already. They're already dead. It doesn't matter.
If they're still
You don't
hiding
think that
the
there's
fact,
somebody that is connected to that, whether it is a mafia in Cuba or whether it is, I find it hard to believe it's a CIA. I do. I used to believe
if they're
that.
still hiding the information, that means that
You're
somebody
protecting
or
something.
some government agency
Yes.
can still get hurt by it.
That's right.
So even if you know, you have two options: you shut up and you pretend you don't know, or you're gonna have an accident yourself.
And then that makes it even more suspicious, right? Now you come out, you find it out, you do a news thing, everything is great, cool. Within the next day, you die of some type of drug overdose like Pulp Fiction. Right.
Fell down the
Somebody
stairs.
took you out. Yeah, or up the stairs if you were Biden.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that information it'll give closure to everybody, but the fact that that's a president that was assassinated and you still don't have the answer, and it's not like you could go interview Lee Harvey Oswald, right? Because then there's Jack Ruby, the guy that shot JFK, right? And then when they interviewed him, he just really liked the president, really.
Also convenient.
So you like the president, so you shot the guy that shot the president. Okay.
Oh, no
He's
more
in the history
interrogation.
books now, right?
Yeah, but not many people know Jack Ruby.
No,
Most people know Lee
that's the
Harvey
problem.
Oswald. And
Right.
If the people behind this managed to keep this a secret way back when, and all of these years, they are so powerful that you don't want to rub them the wrong way.
yeah, you don't want to smack the hornet's nest with a stick. You don't.
Nope.
It's one of those things. Listen, here you go, Mr. Jorfi. I know you're president. You want to know this information. This is yours. You do with it what you will. Let me read just give me a TLDR. What happened? Okay, that's enough. I'm good. That's it. Don't even let me read it. Just did you brief it? Did you go through it? All 786 pages? What do you think? Or what's that say? Good. All right, that's it. I'm good. Just tell
They
me.
might even have you sign a
No
document
NDA.
saying
waiver?
you cannot.
No. No. You being a president is your document. That
Yeah.
is the NDA. There's no such thing.
Well, or you already have one now.
Well, don't forget. I mean, everything that you have as a president, everything you have, phones and everything is recorded. So what are you going to do? You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to call up the news and tell the news? No, they'll shut off your phone before you could do that.
Keep in mind, it's the same dude that Trump called, and he recorded the conversation and put that on social media. You guys know about that, right? He called Trump after he got attempt assassinated, right? And he was talking to him and recording the conversation and shared that with the news. You really want to give him the information of what happened to his uncle? You think that's a good idea? My man is
And
recording the.
that's why he's not running anymore.
Yo,
That could be a reason why he's not running anymore.
Not only can he not talk, he doesn't know when to talk properly. You don't record the president, man.
Okay. You have to see it from his perspective, though. He's like, the government, in theory, in his head, the government may have killed my uncle. So if I'm talking to Donald Trump right now, let me record it in case he slips and says something
why
that
would the government give you that information if you're in a position of power?
Well, they would have no choice, right? Because you're in that position of power now.
Again, I don't think
the government, man. I don't think it's the government. I think if it was the government, they would have done it a lot better than using a single shooter. They would have done a bomb or some shit. Or they had bombs back in the 70s, right? Like C4. That was a thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, back in those days, though, maybe they weren't thinking, ahead of time. They were just like, let's just get rid of him and we'll cover it up somehow.
With an impossible shot, you have the smartest people in the world. You're telling me that their best thing that they could come up with is putting a guy around the corner to go.
But you're looking at it from but you're looking at it from a 2024 perspective. You have to think of it from a 60s perspective, right? Where this technology is not there or is not known to everyone. So you have to think caveman style. Oh, somebody shot the president. Okay, where did it come from? That way. Okay, cool. That's what you know of. You only have so much to go by that was recorded.
He's only an average shooter. He's not the smartest, the smartest crayon on the box.
How do you know? Wait, hold on. How do you know that?
The rifle he has is a single action bolt gun, so that's not possible to fire off.
Though. He said in a video that they knew.
Did they?
Yeah, he said that he was training with the people that he worked with and shooting, and he was average shooter. That was back. That's an old video. So it's not something that we found out.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah, that's old news. So why would you try to frame that person? It just, to me, it doesn't make sense.
I think there was even, what was it? A tree blocking one of the shots.
I think
that
the
he
problem is
supposedly
the
made.
accuracy and the succession of the shots. I play Fortnite, okay? I can tell you that I've tried to land a shot 10 feet away, and I can't do it. You're not shooting somebody around the corner multiple times.
Wouldn't he have to shoot through multiple windows as well?
No, he was on the corner of the building to where, when they turned, that's when he took the shots. So I think it was a clear line of sight. It was a clear line of sight.
I seem to remember that
I'm with Matthew on this.
From one window to another. Which makes it even more unlikely, because if you have a perch and you have your but then if you have to shift your entire position and then aim again, that's gonna take you even longer.
I don't remember the windows part, but I clearly remember something about a tree. So I think there was a tree or something in the way. But still, I mean, this is information that. Imagine what it'll do if it came out, right? What if it was the government? Now people are going to be like, oh, I don't believe in the government anymore because they killed JFK. Now it's just a theory.
And then there's going to be other things where people are doubtful that are going to get even more doubtful because they lied about the JFK assassination.
Exactly.
They did it.
And now,
so what about?
And now you're looking at a civil war.
And what about?
Right. Now, you're going to look at a civil war. It's going to be the people versus the government. You're going to have somebody try to uprise.
your agency would lose all credibility.
Exactly.
On November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, Texas Governor John Connally, and his wife Nellie were traveling in a motorcade through Dallas, Texas, on the way to the city's Trade Mart when Kennedy was shot and killed by lone gunman Lee Harvey Oswald as the vehicle passed through Dealey Plaza. Oswald, positioned on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository, had a clear view of Kennedy as the motorcade passed down Houston Street, but opted not to shoot, instead waiting until the vehicle turned onto Elm Street, where the view was partially obscured by trees. According to the Warren Commission, Oswald fired 3 shots using a 6.5mm Mannlicher Carcano rifle, the first of which ricocheted off a tree before ending up near the railway bridge where it struck a bystander. The second and third shots hit the president, the third shot being the fatal one. According to analysis of footage available, Oswald fired the 3 shots within 8.4 seconds. The second shot entered Kennedy's back, exiting through his throat. It then passed through Governor Connally's right shoulder and chest before hitting his right wrist and lodging in his left leg. The third and fatal shot hit Kennedy in the head, causing the right front of his head to explode. Footage of the assassination was captured by Dallas dressmaker Abraham Zapruder, who was filming the motorcade from the grassy knoll. Several witnesses present reported seeing a puff of smoke from near a white picket fence next to where Zapruder was filming, leading to theories of a second gunman and a 4th shot.
Okay, I didn't know about this one, about the guy up there.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know about that
Man
one.
on the grassy knoll.
Yeah, I knew about that. I thought that was the guy filming. But okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's weird because then Oswald would have made the kill shot when he was when the car was even further away from him.
Okay, but the first shot. Okay, how many seconds did they say that was?
8 seconds.
In
8 seconds, he shot
shots.
3 shots. Yes.
Yeah.
On a bolt-action rifle. Okay.
60 years since former President John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Wait, have you guys ever seen the footage of him actually? We can't show that here, but...
While driving through downtown Dallas. It is a historic event that has fueled theories and
widely known as the magic bullet or the single bullet, who was sitting in the front passenger seat of the limousine. This is widely known as the magic bullet or the single bullet theory. But this lab claims after years of research, the same bullet hitting both men is scientifically impossible.
President and Mrs. Kennedy, a warm welcome. The usual welcoming committee presents Mrs. Kennedy with a bouquet of red
tragedies. Then, one of the country's most famous tragedies, President Kennedy shot twice by Lee Harvey Oswald.
It appears as though something has happened in the motorcade route. Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route.
Walter Cronkite coming on the air.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
The Warren Commission was tasked with investigating and presenting the findings of the shooting. They found JFK was shot twice from behind by Lee Harvey Oswald from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository, and that the bullet that struck John F. Kennedy in his neck is the same bullet that struck and went through Governor John Connally, who was sitting in the passenger seat in front of JFK.
The analysis that we've gone through so far is that those can't be the same bullet. They don't align. We can't make Governor Connally's position match.
Stanley Stoll is CEO of Knott Laboratory, a forensic engineering and animation lab who was hired by a former Justice Department attorney to re-examine the single bullet theory. They took laser scanners to Dealey Plaza, then brought it back to their computers. And the data they collected from the lasers are tiny points, millions of them, to make a point cloud.
It's a digital twin. It's bringing the field to your computer, you know, the exact replica of whatever you wanted to scan. Everything used to be two-dimensional, and what you saw on camera may or may not be accurate. Now you can truly analyze it.
They then took the infamous Zapruder film that has the clearest video of when John F. Kennedy was shot and matched it to their point cloud. And everything was matching up perfectly until the Texas governor was shot too, reportedly by the bullet that went through the president first.
What through the evaluation comes to show is that those aren't in line. Governor Conley his wound is sitting, 6 to 10 inches towards the outside of the vehicle. You have to slide Governor Conley to the inside of the vehicle. You have to slide him to the left to get that alignment.
Based on those findings, Stoll says you have to look at a new hypothesis that there was a second bullet. The question, from where? One person with inside knowledge of the government investigation believes there was another bullet too. Sammy the Bull Gravano was questioned by the FBI about this after he became a government informant for the mafia.
I know what it is to kill someone. You don't bounce and come this way. When you bounce and come this way, you got hit in the front with a bullet, another one.
So you think JFK was struck from the front?
You could see it. That went in, and that's from the grassy knoll.
Sammy said he is sure, however, there were no mafiosos on the grassy knoll. Stoll says while their lab doesn't know where the second bullet came from, their technology and visualization is ready for ballistics experts to analyze just that.
Okay, here's where our science ends. Okay, now everybody else, law enforcement investigators, those people that are fantastic at that, now come in and use our information and see what you think.
Stoll says Not Laboratory welcomes any and all feedback from the public.
Oh, you don't want to. Okay, you don't want to make any assumptions and frame the wrong people. That's what that tells me. If you have all those points, where all the lasers are going, right? You can point then from that shot and see where that came from. No.
Right, just like they did with the Trump shooter.
Right, so you can clearly see where that other shot came from. So then there's 3 people.
But have you noticed that
I'd say so.
in that reconstruction, the shot goes through his right shoulder blade, not through his neck?
No, right shoulder blade.
No, that was
the governor, not
of the senator, the governor. Yeah,
no,
not from the
no. Look back at when they do the reconstruction. You see it going through Kennedy's shoulder and then going forward, while as they say it went through his neck.
Hey, calm down. That's his neck, bro. That's
his
neck. That's the top of his spine. It's not his shoulder.
Yep.
Look at the collar.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking neck, upper
Incident
neck.
first.
No, that's his. I mean,
No, the whole section is the neck.
What?
Yeah, that's his neck, bro.
Yeah.
Up perfectly until the Texas governor was shot too.
Yeah, it's the top of his neck. It's not his shoulder. So yeah. No. Okay. All right, whatever. So then there's 3 people, right? Because they're saying that there's someone on the knoll. There's Lee Harvey Oswald, and then there's another person that's either in a different building that shot as well. That's
Which
a lot.
kind of
That's a
makes
lot of
sense.
people.
Well, let me ask you a question, okay? Since you've used, out of all of us, you've used the weapons more than us, and no, on a bolt action rifle, right? Do you think that you can take 3 shots in 8 seconds? Like, you have to be really good at what you're
Depends on how
doing,
far
or at
the
least
target is,
reloading.
right? Could I just do it, just firing? Yes. Could I be accurate? Probably on the first shot, yes, because I had time to take that. Second and third,
Right.
Bolt action.
But he was more accurate on the second shot.
Bolt
right?
action, you're moving your shoulder, you're moving your head, you're moving a lot. There's a lot going on every time you discharge, a shell. So
yeah, you have to essentially re-aim your shot.
Yes.
Right. And so you need time. You can't just shoot 8
there are people
seconds.
that are good enough that don't have to re-aim or recanter. They just they're good with it.
Right.
But those
right.
are people
Today.
That's shooting their whole life. Yeah, that's
right.
That's
Today, we're not talking about back then with a bolt action. And also back then they didn't have the tripod, right? He didn't have a tripod to rest his rifle on.
You only need the sock and with some sand in it to make. Wow, never mind. The funny part is also that the third shot, when the car was the furthest away of him in distance, that's when he made the accurate kill shot.
Yeah,
the
which is
before,
the second
where
shot
the car was
that he took.
closer to him, he couldn't.
So
no, wasn't the second shot the one that went through Kennedy's head?
No, the first shot went through his neck. The second shot went
The
through
second
his
went
head.
through his head.
Right. And
Yeah.
then there's a third
Yeah.
shot, but I didn't know about the third shot. So,
Yeah.
hold on. So, apparently no one as of August 4th this year, nobody has been able to replicate that. No one. No shooters in the world. Nobody. The shooting, the under 8 seconds, yes. The accuracy, no.
Thing is, though, if you're an agency or you know in advance and you want to do this, the assassinated president, are you really gonna rely on one person, or are you gonna have
I don't think it's the
multiple
government.
options in the field?
I don't think it's the government.
Even if it's Castro, you're not gonna rely on that one dude, right?
It's a government. Castro's a government. He's a government for another country.
No,
He's
I
not
don't think
the
it's
U.S.
a
government.
lot of people think it's the CIA. I do not think it's the CIA. I think that they know or they had things, but I don't think that they. No, I don't. I truly don't believe that.
Like the fact they didn't even follow him when he got back into the States, so somebody wanted him in there, and somebody arranged it for him not to be followed or questioned or whatever.
Well, I have a question for you guys. Let's think of this logically from outside of the U.S., right? If you were the one that killed the president, wouldn't you be showboating? Wouldn't you be like, yes, we killed him. We did this.
Yeah.
So for it to be an outside of the U.S. government, I highly doubt it. So it has to
But
be inside.
You could say the same thing about Oswald, and he never did. He ever confess? I don't think he ever did.
No, he never did. No, he never did.
No.
And that's why I don't believe that it was Oswald.
The thing they're saying is, oh, he was disappointed with the government, and he was angry because of the attacks on Castro, and that's why he hated the president. And one, dude, if they get you, that's a platform. If that's true, he would probably also be like shouting it from the rooftops. Yeah, I did because you guys did this, or I'm disappointed with the states because of this, or this president is wrong. I don't know, but he just didn't.
Hence why I believe it's the CIA. It had to be the CIA because for it to be the mob, for it to be the mafia, there's no way they could have pulled this off. No way. No freaking way for it to be the mob. But for the CIA, though, those guys are known to do things that most people can't even imagine.
What do you
For it
guys
not to
in
come
chat
out, you
think?
would have to make.
I want to hear who do you think is responsible for the killing of JFK inside of the chat. I want to see what everybody says. Do you think it's CIA? Do you think it's mafia? Do you think it's what do you think it is? Do you think it's Cuba? Do you think it's Russia? I want to hear everybody inside the chat.
I really don't think it was I don't think it was an outside country. And for it to be the mob, you really think that the mob was able to do that? Come on.
Matt, do you think it's CIA?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt it's possible, but I don't think it's CIA themselves. People who have knowledge, or
You have to realize that the CIA is good, right? They've taken out leaders, they do crazy shit.
Everything.
Right?
It's what they do.
With very little marginal room for error. So
the thing is, you'd have to be powerful enough to make people disappear, to make
that's
evidence
what I'm saying.
disappear.
If it was the CIA, it would have been more flawless. It would have been
unless it's on purpose.
Yes, it had to be on purpose, so that way they can make it look like this guy who is an average intellect was able to pull this off.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to abscond with all the material, not from prison. If it's a lone shooter, they got him, so he can't make stuff disappear from his own trial or whatever afterwards. That's not possible.
Well, what if the things that are made disappear are the things that could prove that he was innocent? And that's why those things were disappeared.
I don't think you're ever going to know the truth about it.
Oh,
ever?
No.
You
No.
don't
Nah,
think
we
at
will.
some
We
point
will.
in time, anarchy or something, someone's gonna hold those files and then just drop a bomb, bro? Just here you go. Never.
I don't think so. No.
We will. We
By
will.
now,
Eventually,
those
we will.
files have been redacted in some way, or they've disappeared,
Why even
or
keep
whatever,
them?
or
Why keep them? Well, at this point,
Yeah.
it's been so long. Just burn it all. Just.
No, well, that's for historical accuracy, right? You want to
But
keep.
why?
You want to keep.
But no one knows the historical accuracy. Like
Do they
no one
still-
knows it.
Who says they even have them? The original
I'm sure
ones.
they do.
Dude, if
It's
you
either
want
that or they
something
got-
not to be known, you
Bro, his
destroy the
fucking
original
brain
ones
is
and you make
missing.
fakes.
If you could
Which was
get away
weird.
with his,
Why?
if you could get away with his brain missing, I'm sure you could get away with destroying the files. You walked out of a building with someone's body organs, and nobody stopped you. Like
Oh,
In a metal tin, right? What did they say?
In a
A metal
big
tin.
metal
in
canister.
a metal tin. Yeah, you just
okay.
Dahmer in that shit, just walking around with loose body parts and. Yeah,
Put the tin on your shoulder, walking around like it's a boombox. Yeah, I'm going to my car, guys.
You see this even in movies, and it was true. Like back in the '60s, Son of Sam would like take bodies out of their trunk, and nobody would say anything because you didn't.
Yeah,
your mind
because
didn't think that was a human body. As much as it looked like one, that wasn't the first thing you went to.
Right. Because people didn't believe atrocities like that would happen. That's why.
The proverbial rolled up carpet with the feet sticking out of it.
Right.
To me, it's a weird thing, man. It happened, 60 years ago, and it's just nobody knows anything. It's where it's all up for. How did you not find that person, especially with today's technology? You couldn't scan profile that and come a match, really?
Because
If
most
the-
of the
hold
key
on.
things are missing.
Yeah, if you don't have all the information, how are you going to find the answer?
All you need is
You can
All
assume.
you need is an image.
No, not
If
necessarily.
You could Google image search it, you could facial profile that. I think guys, when I was in the military, we had that technology in 2007. So I can imagine how that technology is now, where you could scan the profile of a face. Obviously, you have to have mug shots, you have to have documentation somewhere, but still, there's
And if you see they showed the best video or the best footage they have, even that's grainy. That's not enough to make an accurate profile or a face or whatever. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be looking.
Take black and white videos. I've showed you this. They take black and white videos from the 1900s of New York City, and then they make them color, and those look like actual real movies. So you can redo that video. You can 100% redo it.
Algorithm, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the videos I'm talking about, right? Where they have videos from San Francisco in 1907. How?
And it's color.
Thing is,
bro? And it looks like, I mean, obviously they add sound effects. There's no microphones, but it's like, yo, that looks damn good. And some kid in 10th grade did this. All right. Okay. So redo that then. I think a lot of people care, but I don't think we'll ever get an answer. At least not in our lifetime.
Maybe. I think maybe we will.
No.
Maybe we will. Because at that point, it's going to be, 100 years since it's been
Someone's
there,
losing their job. I can tell you that much.
But these people are all dead, though, guys. Come on. Like, this happened, in the 60s?
But the
We're talking
entities
about...
are not dead. The entities behind it are not dead. Let's just say this mafia. That mafia is not dead. Let's just say it is CIA. CIA is not dead. Say it's FBI. FBI is not dead.
And that's why I feel like it was a government agency, because it would bring doubt to the people about this government agency supposed to be protecting you. Instead, it was killing somebody.
It doesn't even
reason.
have to be a government agency.
That's what I'm thinking.
Really
I don't think it
the
is a
president
government
is the most
agency.
But you really believe the president is the most powerful man in Capitol Hill? Really?
He's the figurehead. No, he's the figurehead. He's the face of it. Doesn't necessarily mean that he is the the most powerful man. He looks the part.
There's powerful people behind the scenes,
of course,
that make the president dance like a puppet.
Yeah,
they're the people that don't go away after 4 years or after 8 years. They
No, it's the
stay. They
Blackgates,
have the
the
knowledge. They
Illuminatis,
have
the
the connections.
Rockefellers.
They have the contacts. They have the power. That's the
Yeah.
people that do stuff like this. Let's make him disappear. What do you think? Yeah, I agree. He's becoming a nuisance. Okay.
All right. So fine. You want to go that route? Let's think about who benefits from JFK being assassinated. What did he say that pissed off people? Obviously, we know that the mob, because he was going.
He was going after Cuba, Cuban Missile Crisis, right? He was
Okay.
going after Russia. He was going after the CIA. He thought it was a bum agency. You don't need them. So lots of people. You had lots of enemies.
So who's to say? What if it just so happened that on the same day, all these people were there and they had the similar idea of doing something, and they just all acted at the same time?
You had all those people. You had all those people there, right? You saw that video. There's a lot of people there. Nobody saw anything.
They saw the smoke behind the guy with the camera on the fence. Remember?
Okay, a couple people. You had how many people there? 5,000, 10,000? I don't know. 20 grand?
There was a lot.
And nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything.
Well, people were so like.
Even given that most people's attention would be at the motorcade with the president,
right?
You would still need to have more people that heard something. So, look at the recent thing with Trump. There were a bunch of people calling attention to that guy.
That's what I'm saying. But you didn't have that with this. Nobody was like, "There's a dude with a rifle sticking out of a window up there." Like, hey, nobody said that. And if they did say it, why is that not documented anywhere? We documented the thing with Trump. Why is that not documented anywhere?
It's not like his rifle was silenced either. So if that first shot goes off, there's bound to be some people that are going to look in the right direction.
In all fairness, though, 8 seconds is pretty damn fast, Matty. Like, that's fast, bro.
I don't see you aiming.
I don't see it happening.
Missing the bolt and re-aiming, shoot him in the neck. Oh, he's still not dead. How do you see at that distance? I don't know. But then
wait.
Redo the bolt, reload, aim again in 8 seconds. Nah.
Right, but isn't the way it worked was he aimed and he got him in the back of the neck, refilled, shot him in the back of the head, and then refilled again, right? You mean to tell me that second shot you were able to get him?
The first one was the one that ricocheted off a tree, right?
Right. First one did nothing. That bounced off a tree.
Oh, okay. So
a bystander.
So
I didn't even know about that. I guess.
And why wait if you have a clear view before he turns the corner? You have a clear view. You can shoot him straight in the face. Why would you wait and run the risk of missing your shot?
The theory of him not trying to kill the president and trying to kill the Texas governor, because
and then him not wanting to shoot the governor in the face because he would have hit the president.
Right. So he was waiting towards where he was at the back, and then I guess you have a better shot. I don't know.
But it's only a matter of the governor and the president being behind him and blocking him blocking the other one. And if you wait and it's from the back, it's the president blocking the shot to kill the governor.
And if the guy on the grassy knows the true story of the guy behind the fence, why even go up to the 6th floor? Why not just hang out on a grassy knoll in a different spot? And why are you in a fucking convertible? Like, what?
Because back then nobody thought anybody was going to kill the president.
Oh, like the Lincoln thing wasn't enough? Like, do you know how many presidents were assassinated? It's not just Lincoln and Kennedy.
There's 3 or 4, no?
I think there's 4. I didn't know this. I found this out the other day. Oh shit. There's somebody else that I was like, I don't even know that was a president.
Why did they choose pick for that day? Why did they pick the car without the
William
running boards?
McKinley. So Abraham Lincoln knew that one. JFK knew that one. Then you have James Garfield and then William McKinley.
4. That's just weird. I don't know.
I don't think it was the CIA. That's all I'm saying. I think the CIA knows something. I just don't think that they're responsible for it.
I think Buckeye has a good idea. He said the first shot was a decoy to draw attention in that direction, so the second shooter could have more accurate shot without being noticed. That makes sense. It does. Again, this is all theoretical.
Assuming that first shot took place in a different location. So we would assume that the first and third shot, so let's say Lee Harvey Oswald was the second shot. The first and third shot were done by the same person. Second shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. Assuming that's accurate.
So we're saying that Oswald hit him in the back of the neck and the third shot hit him in the head, right?
Yes.
Say that whoever wanted to do it, they may have known that Oswald was gonna try it and put their own shooter. So it could be the patsy.
Well, two other shooters, right? You got the one that's somewhat near him, maybe on the rooftop, and then you got the guy in the grassy knoll.
And then the
If
grassy
that is
knoll.
true, so you have essentially 3 shooters, but none of the rounds match the guy in the grassy knoll at the way that. But then again, even if you look at the autopsy, it's not even accurate, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what it says. It doesn't mark how many bullet holes there are. It doesn't matter. And what's funny,
so there's inconsistencies there.
There's another video where they're talking about the exit wound, right, being in the front of the head. So that negates the guy from the left on the grassy knoll because it's in the front of the head. Unless you got some shit where it turns, that's not accurate.
Yeah, but then that one lady said she she remembered the big exit wound in the back of his head from the missing or wrong pictures there.
Right.
Oh, from that last video you're saying. Yeah. You wouldn't have an exit.
That's probably the same reason. Why abscond his brain?
Forward? Does his head go forward or backwards when he gets shot in the head?
I don't remember.
I can't pull up the video. It's not going to happen on this platform. It's going to have to happen in Discord.
No.
I think his head actually goes backwards, not forwards, which makes no sense.
Yeah, because if it goes backwards, that's what what's his name? The mobster that was on there. He said he got shot and he went forward. He went back, so that means that you got shot forward. That's why your body went back.
Yeah.
Right, because if you got shot in the back of your head, you'd be going forward like this. While he got in the video, it shows him going like that.
See, that doesn't make any sense. So if his head went backwards, he didn't get shot in the back of your head.
See, but that may be why they kind of absconded the brain as well, because if you get shot, where's the most amount of damage going to be? The entry or the exit? I think in the exit, right?
Yeah, the exit. Always the exit. I mean, it's just like, you get in combat when you get shot, you have an entry wound, you have an exit wound.
Yeah. And then the big trauma is on the other side. So if you can see, if you have his brain and it's not completely liquefied, you would be able to see that the front part of it is more intact than the back part, meaning he got shot in the front.
Wait, and what about the other stuff?
But then that negates Lee Harvey Oswald. That negates the dude on the grassy knoll. That's saying that there's
someone else.
Hold on. That's saying that there's 4 shooters, right? You say you have Lee Harvey Oswald that actually takes the shot. Okay. You have the first person that shoots from the back, misses the first and third shot, right? and then you have the guy in the grassy knoll. So now we're at 3. But now there's a 4th person because then there's a round that goes through the front of you. The grassy knoll was to the left. The 2 people behind you. Where's the other shot taking place? And where did that bullet end up that went through his head, through the front?
Would make sense if you put more than one shooter. You put them in a triangular pattern, right?
Oh, crossfire.
With the kill zone in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're also forgetting that one key information, right? The one that hit him in the neck apparently went through the governor's shoulder, and it went down to his wrist, and then it went down to his knee. That was, come on. You really think that the shot would have went through all that thing? Like,
Man,
it goes through one person to the next person to the next thing to the next thing?
I've seen a lot of things hit with bullets, man. It's very rarely to see a bullet pass through multiple people.
That's what I'm saying. And but forget about
maybe.
So you're looking at it goes through 2 people, right? And then 4 body
50
parts.
50 cal or 357 or something that's got the velocity to
and the oomph.
I mean, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
What was that, a 6.5? I don't even know what that is. I've never even seen that bullet. So I don't know what. I get smaller than a 7.6 too. There's
no way it went through 2 people, then it went through somebody's wrist, then it went through the guy's knee. Like that's 4 entryways for one bullet. That just
that was stuck in his knee. It didn't go through it.
Right. Okay, fine. But it still went through somebody, then went through somebody's shoulder, through their wrist, and then it landed on the guy's knee, inside his knee. Come on, man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
How low were those seats? Because if the seat is like up to here in the car, it had to go through the seat as well, right? No?
No, not necessarily, because it was a convertible, so it had shorter. It didn't have a backrest.
Yeah,
it was only up to the top of their.
Like bench seats.
Yeah.
You know, if some shit happened like that today, I guarantee you that there'd be more footage because everybody got damn phones.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Reddit
my God.
it.
Oh, dude,
Reddit,
you could not get away with that shit today. Nope.
Yeah. Someone on Reddit would find who the person was.
Yeah. 20 seconds, they're going to figure it out. There you go. Here's 20,000 clips. Have fun.
Yeah. Here. I also found the shooter. This is his family history. This is the receipt that he paid for this. Everything. Within 24 hours, guaranteed.
That's still, even with the Trump thing, did you guys see the new video that showed up of, I guess, a kid?
There's a new video?
Yeah, there's a kid that was in his class. Whatever, last year or something, and they're bullying him, and he's like laughing about it, and then the camera pans away and it goes back to him, and he's like sad, depressed face. He didn't see that. What, Bree? What did you say? Oh, so now there's footage of that guy, but it doesn't matter. It's over now. Right. Who he's tied to is irrelevant. I don't think he's tied to anybody. He just didn't like Trump.
Yeah.
No.
A male and female party? Yeah. Yep. I was watching a video. Society's fucked, bro. I was watching a video of a girl riding a quad on Facebook. Everybody knows what a quad is, yeah? And she's going over water that's got mud and no one knows how deep it is. Well, she goes in it and a quad flips over. And I'm waiting for the guy that's filming to go help her. And there's nobody around. It was just him and his girl. Nobody's around. And he's just filming with the quad on top of her while she's like drowning in the thing. She died, by the way.
Oh, she did?
Oh, yeah, she died. But I'm saying to myself, you didn't even move.
So it's so screwed up that probably the first thought that goes through people like that, their minds is like, oh, this is going to make a great Scorpio. This is going to be a TikTok movie or whatever.
It's great content.
This is going on the
so your
internet.
instinct goes right away. Like you have no instinct to help at all. I get the filming part. Like I get it. Whatever the relationship is with this girl, your instinct was to continue to film and laugh.
Yeah, that's just.
Unless he didn't care about her, and he's like, all right, well, if she dies, she dies.
Well, that would be stupid as well, because then there's actual footage of you not caring about her and letting her die.
But can you get in? Wait, hold on. Can you get in trouble for that? Can you really get into trouble? You could be like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
But here you can.
No. Oh, I don't know if
right.
I mean, it's not your civil duty. You're not a police or paramedic. So.
No.
In Belgium, if you pass by an accident or whatever and you do not render aid, it's illegal. You can get fined.
It's like watching Seinfeld. It's like watching Seinfeld. You're watching somebody getting killed or murdered or robbed.
It's called a duty to rescue in America. The deliberate failure to assist a person in dangerous situations such as injury, fire, or a doctor. Oh no. Or a doctor refusing to provide care is considered a criminal offense, is punishable by law. Now, for the most part, American law does not impose a duty on the average bystander to aid or rescue another person in distress. However, to encourage a person to help someone in need, most states have enacted laws to protect Good Samaritans should they assist another. Oh, to protect Good Samaritans, not to actually.
Yeah, because I feel like there was a case once where somebody went to go help someone and then they got sued because they broke the guy's ribs or something while they were doing CPR.
Well, it's the same.
But it's like, I just saved you. Yeah.
If you hurt somebody while trying to save them, you're not liable. Look at a chick that was drowning at the bottom of that swim pool, pond, whatever. That tried to hold the guy in front of a judge and a jury because he touched her.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's nothing in America. So if you're just filming and you have no responsibility to that actual accident.
You'd think there would be, especially if you're filming and trying to get something out of it for yourself. That's double wrong.
I'm sure that if this continues to happen and more people die with people just sitting there and recording them, there will probably be a law change that says that.
Though, how could you force that? That person might do more damage than good. If you get into an accident, the worst thing you want to do is move that person. Look, I was in a wheelchair because I was moved improperly after I got shot. So, granted, I probably would have been dead otherwise. But in a situation, if you don't know, house is burning. You don't know, did it hit the gas line yet? Did you know?
Right.
I don't know.
Get out
that's tough, man. That's tough.
Maybe it depends on the situation.
But it's kind of the same thing. Let's say you pass by a car accident and there is no imminent danger, like the battery isn't sparking, the petrol isn't coming out of the car, whatever. You're better off leaving the person inside because you don't know what injuries internally they might have.
Yes.
But of course, if
what?
Oh no, I thought you saw it. But if you see petrol running or gas running under the car, that's enough reason for you to get the person out.
I don't think most people would do that though, Maddie. I think most people would just ignore it.
No one wants to be a superhero.
See the videos online.
Do nothing and watch a person the car catch fire and leave the person in there. No, I'd rather burn my hands or something trying to get them out.
See, that's where we're different. You're trying to help people. I would be driving by and saying, "Oh, that sucks."
What do you think would get more views? Check this. You have two scenarios. You have a scenario where a car gets clipped, right? And the car's on fire, and the guy runs up, grabs the person, saves them. Car explodes like a movie. Yeah? Or, second scenario. The car gets clipped, you're filming it, car blows up, person dies inside. Which one do you think gets more views?
The second one.
The live roasting.
That's right.
Probably.
That's right. Which person do you think is going to get more famous and how long?
The guy that
Second
owned
one.
the right. Yeah.
The owner of that video.
Sad, isn't it? Very sad.
But that's what we've turned into of a society where we care more about things that are being destroyed than things that are being built.
The only thing that's responsible for that is obviously the person behind it, but it's because of social media.
Yep.
Otherwise,
your
you
first
wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and your first, if somebody's in trouble, your first thought wouldn't be let's take out something, whatever, and let's start filming it. So when that's screwed up,
cameras in the 90s, people had pocket cams, Sony's, Casio cameras, point and shoot jams. But you saw less of those videos and you saw more people helping. It's ever since phones came out that people have the most powerful camera in their pocket. While it may be helpful, like with the Trump situation, or be useful, it's actually done more harm than it has good.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. That's really fascinating.
There's also a thing where if several people, and it kind of negates the guilt or something of not doing anything. If there's multiple people, they kind of expect one of the others to go help, so they don't feel as guilty afterwards, or they don't feel as guilty for not helping the person. As like, oh, there were other people, there were 20 other people over there. One of them could have helped, but if all 20 reason the same way, then there's 20 people filming, and there's nobody gonna help anybody.
Well, I mean, take the Trump thing, right? Did anybody try to go up there? Not that I'm aware of. Did anybody try to go up there to go get him?
No.
Okay.
But they sat there and they told people about it.
And they recorded it, right? So they
Right.
could have, somebody could have, out of all those people that saw him, tried to stop him, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Take the JFK situation. You think if the... Hold on. Hello? So take the situation with JFK. You think somebody would have stopped him?
Huh.
Who's gonna go?
It's outside somewhere.
Oh. Do you think they would have stopped him? I think it would have been different back then. Less people trying to get famous for their heroes.
Yeah, you would have a greater chance on somebody trying to do something back then. Trying to stop it
with humanity then? What happened? Because in World War II, everybody wanted to join the military to go fight for the war, right? Even Vietnam, people wanted to sign up. They couldn't get enough. That's why they did the draft, right? People wanted to go fight for this country. How come people don't have that same heroism now?
Freedom, peace, and entitlement.
Okay, but you had all of those before. Nothing has changed in America. What stopped
people don't have it. That has changed. Now people don't respect the fact that they have the freedom to do stuff like that.
Okay, but what changed that made them feel that way?
People are selfish today.
Social media wanting to be
then?
Because back then people were made okay. So for the war thing, people were more patriotic back then. Today, people are not as patriotic as they were back in. Probably because of situations like JFK, where the government killed him.
You could say people back then were more invested in. You could say people back then were more invested in the society they were in as well. Huh?
You don't think it's got to do with the news and the media? The news used to report on good stuff, and now it's all about hatred towards this. You have to pick a side.
Yeah, because the news. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you look
I
at
could see
World War
that.
II, right? World War II. Who was it? There was a news thing that was it Warner Brothers or somebody paid somebody, Alfred Hitchcock, to go over there and then make a movie out of it and then give that to soldiers for motivation. The media worked in our favor to help, um, to show just our side, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the media opening up, showing both sides, is what made us so divided. It's
Yeah,
not
but
just one
you
side.
need to see both sides, though,
Well,
don't
look at
you?
Nazism. They only did Nazi propaganda, and everybody believed in it.
Right.
Maybe only show one side and just force people to believe that. I know that sucks. I'm not for that, but maybe that's what works.
But that's what they're doing now, Jay.
Are they? Because you can still
All the
find a counter argument to everything you find online.
Yes, you could, but who's louder? Who's louder? That's
I
what
think
really
that
matters.
depends on your social media feed is who's louder.
No, not necessarily, because in the media today, being louder means that you're a liberal, not that you're a conservative. Because look at every news channel. Everything is about being liberal, never about being conservative. All the news outlets, unless you go to a specific conservative channel. But every of the big boys, all the big channels are all liberal. So they're pushing the
I've tried
liberal
to
agenda.
look on YouTube for these liberal channels that promote Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. I have found very little in that regard. Very little. Where are all these channels that are liberal? Don Lemon, that's the argument? Okay. That's an extreme, but all right, fine.
You don't need to have a specific liberal channel. It's
But
because
you have
the
how many
news.
conservative channels?
Yes, because the conservatives need to speak up. That's why there's so many channels. The liberals don't need to because our news media is being the liberal voice for them.
No.
You know, take NBC, right? For example, first one that came to my head, NBC. NBC is popping out all this liberal agenda, right? But who has to counter it? That's why Fox is out there always countering everything. But after NBC, you have all these other news stations, the smaller ones, the ones that are just for your area. They're all doing liberal things. If you watch the news about your area, I'm sure all the news
Then
there.
why push that sole agenda over conservatism? Why push the liberal over conservative? Why?
Because otherwise you get
have
canceled.
less to gain because that's more taxes. So what's the goal of pushing just that? Conservatism, I see, makes sense, but liberal doesn't make any sense.
Because most people are liberal.
No.
Because who
I guess
in the
that all
populated
depends on-
cities
that's not
who in the
fair
popular cities, in the most populated cities, what are they? They are liberal. They're not conservative. And that's why they push it.
Mm.
So pushing it like that, that's what's happening.
Yeah,
That's why
just
you
if
need
have
the anti-liberal channels or the conservatives or the libertarians or whatever it is that's everything that's against liberals. You need
If you
that.
have a channel, I guess if you have a channel that's mostly watched by liberals or the poor and the people that want the money from the government, and you want your station to keep being watched, you're kind of gonna
Right.
you're not gonna do
Right.
the right thing or even the middle of the road. You're gonna pamper to
Look exactly what Matthew is saying. Look at what a liberal's not going to watch a liberal channel because they know they're like, oh yeah, I agree with this. But if you have a opposite of what the liberals are saying, the liberals will watch a little bit, and the people who want to know about being conservative or whatever, they're going to watch that, and then they're going to have fights in the comment sections. That brings up engagement. And because you have engagement, more watch time. More watch time means more money.
means not getting canceled. And
No, that's when you have too much watch time. You're getting canceled.
Well, in general, it's going more left to society. I would say it's the left that has the look at the woke stuff. That's a small group, but it has a lot of impact on businesses, on film studios, even Disney,
We've said
whatever
this
you want to.
Right. We've said this how many times with the transgender things and everything like that. They have a loud voice online, but in person, they don't have that, right?
But it seems to
So
work for them because
because
companies
they have a
kind of,
loud voice. Yes.
yeah, companies
They're
wokeify,
changing their
and
point of views.
they're scared of it. They're scared of it.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, 10,000 people are complaining about because I have a transgender being part of our beer commercial. Okay, let's just get rid of it. Because if there's 10,000 online, there might be a million in person. But in actuality, that might not be true.
But I think there's more. Well, if you or I look at a commercial and it's normal, it's a normal family or whatever, you're not going to complain about it. It's that minority that's very vocal. They're all going to complain at a much bigger scale. They're going to complain that they're not represented in that commercial or whatever.
Right. And then that's why you have more inclusive commercials now, just like you do with the movies and the TV shows. Now you're forced to put characters that are gay, that are, minorities, that
I
are
don't know about that. I don't think that's applicable to that at all. I think they do that to make everybody happy, but you're having the opposite effect.
Okay. Look at TV shows back in the 90s, right? Primarily a white cast, primarily a black cast. If you watched a black TV show, it was primarily a black cast. You watched
Yeah, they gave
Friends,
them
for
their own
instance.
channel, Black Entertainment Television. They gave them their
But
own
you can't have a white entertainment channel.
You
can't.
Well, I mean, no, because most
You can't.
Can you name me a show that did not have a black person in it on TV?
Friends. Friends did not have
no
a
black
black
people.
character. They did not have a black character until 5 or so seasons in, and that was
there were
one
black people
girlfriend,
that
and that's it.
showed up on screen that were black.
One.
No, I'm
One.
saying no. You're not getting what I'm saying. I'm not saying the main character. I'm saying that there were black people in the background, right?
No.
Yes,
No, not in
like when
Friends.
they're in the bar or when they're sitting down.
Yeah,
There's a black
in the
person
cafe.
somewhere in the show.
I
course
don't
there were.
believe so.
Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here. Come on, bro. You're not going to tell me that it's only been white people on Friends since launch. I guarantee you, I go through 2 episodes, I find a black person somewhere in there.
Isn't there that romantic thing with the black woman doctor or something in it as well?
Yeah, but
One
that
of
was
the-
that was
the-
like 4. Yeah, that was 4 or 5 seasons in, and
Okay, you're
she
not
was
getting
only
what
in
I'm
for a
saying.
couple
There's
of
not a
episodes.
black person playing an extra. That's what I'm saying. Like in the background.
That's what I feel like. I'm almost positive.
Get
No.
the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah,
Come
there is.
on. No way. Don't make me go watch Friends. Don't make me do this. Don't put me through this shit, bro. No fucking way. But if you watch a black entertainment TV show, there's no white people.
That's okay.
No comment. No comment. Bro, I bet you watched the first episode of Friends. First or second episode. There's a black dude somewhere. Whether it's a cashier, whether it's a something. There's no way it's all white people. What are you looking up? When's the first time a black person showed up on Friends? Is that your research?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
There's literally
Episode
been
1.
only 10 or 12 instances.
Don't make me watch Friends. I just...
I really do believe so, and I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying like people back then wanted to um, they didn't care about inclusivity back then. They're like, oh, we're just doing a TV show about these 5 people, and this is what's happening. They never thought, oh, we have to have a black man here, and we have to have a black woman here, and an Asian woman
Right.
here.
Agree.
And they didn't think of that.
Agree.
They think of that today.
I
Today they
that's
think about
because
that.
they do that to make people happy, that they don't feel excluded.
Right.
But in reality, the people that do feel excluded are the people that were included, which is your cis white male. Now we
And the
feel
problem
excluded.
with that
And the
is-
argument is now you know how we felt. Oh, okay. So, but if it was wrong for us to do it to you then, why is it okay for you to do it to us now?
The problem also arises where, just to be inclusive, they kind of tend to alter the narrative or the storyline itself. And there has to be that trans or whatever person that has nothing to do with anything in the story, but just because he is that certain type of way, he doesn't add anything. It doesn't add to the story. It even detracts to the story, but he's in there. So that's a bad thing.
What
That's
happened
altered the
to there's
script
no such
because
thing as black. There's no such thing as Hispanic. We're just all human beings. What happened to that?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
That has that never happened in the face of this of the Earth's history. There's always been some sort of racism, always, since day one.
Wow. I don't know about since day
But
one.
okay, Spade, explain to me why.
And maybe
Well, there's only
day
one
2.
race. It's the human race. There's only one race.
Yeah.
Correct. But you're going to okay. So look at it from your perspective, right? Because you're white, most of, I would say 95% of your friends are white, or at least the color of your skin, or close to the color of your
You
skin.
think that
How
has
many
to
people?
do it because of me being white? You don't think that has to do with what's around me?
Right. So
Most
why
of-
do you
if
live
I
in a
grew
white
up in the
neighborhood? Why
ghetto,
didn't you go to
think
a?
Eminem? You think Eminem had more white friends or black friends?
Well, he had no choice because he grew up in the ghetto.
That's
Because
what
there
I'm
were more
saying
black
to you.
people.
So if you
than
grow up
white.
around a bunch of white people, then of course you're gonna have a bunch of white people as friends.
Okay, but
That's
we
not
don't know what
dictated
his.
by your- That's not dictated
Right,
by
but
your skin color, man.
We don't know what he hangs out with now.
What do you think Eminem hangs out with now? Who was his producer for 20 odd years? A black man.
Just because. Okay, but that doesn't mean
So-
that in your everyday life you're hanging out with that person.
Who do you think
That could be
hangs
the
out with that
person he's
black man?
working with.
Using your argument, because of his skin color, he's got all black friends, right?
Yeah.
So that means that while Eminem goes to film, he's hanging out with all black people because he's hanging out with a black dude.
Because
Your
no,
skin
because he's
color-
not.
get
No,
the fuck out of
it's
here,
not that
bro.
he's not hanging out with them. He's working with them. There's a difference, though.
No, there's not a difference. If me and
Why?
What? If there's 35 people, I'm Matthew. I'm working on a ship. I'm a pirate. Okay. There's 35 people that are all black around me. I'm hanging out with them.
Yeah.
The fuck? What do you want me to say? Associated? I mean, no
Sure.
matter which
Oh, it's
word you.
associated.
No, it does not. You're trying to get technical on a stupid fucking word. Okay, the guy that doesn't like change, but then Captain America goes from white to black. What happens? He changes.
Here we go.
There's no. He didn't modify it. That's a totally different dude. That's a black dude now. Anyway, moving forward, just because of what your skin color is doesn't dictate what you hang out with. I think it's more about where you come from and where you're at is what dictates your friends. That's common sense.
Yes, but
There's
Are you
women
go-
that
okay.
are women that have vaginas that have more male friends than they do female friends. And they hang out at work all day with women, but yet they choose to be with men. Has nothing to do with their gender. Has nothing to do with your skin color. It's got to do with where you're from or where you're at. Come on. The fuck are we even talking about? This guy, bro.
hold
Well,
on,
but-
hold on, Tony.
hold
I'm
on,
not being
hold on.
PC. I'm being the exact opposite right now. It's not being PC. I'm just saying, like, if you grow up in a neighborhood that's all white, you're obviously going to hang out with all white people, right? Yes, I agree with that. Because you don't know any better. It's not like you went out of your way to say the people who usually are friends in an all-white neighborhood who are friends with people who are of color or minorities or anything like that is because they're trying to push out of that and say, oh, I'm inclusive. I have black friends. I have minority friends.
You just flipped the whole shit, bro. You just got done saying that your friends are dictated by your skin color. Now you're saying it's got to do with what's around you. Do you hear yourself?
No. Your friends are dictated by the people that are around you. Yes, because the people
That's
around
what I
you are of
said.
your skin color. Right, of your skin color, correct. But the ones that aren't.
No, it has nothing to do with your skin color.
Yes, it does, because that's the neighborhood you're in. You're in a neighborhood that has all white people. You're going to be friends with white people. You're forced into that.
Bro, your argument 10 minutes ago was your friends are based off of what your skin color is. I said no,
Correct.
It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what you grew up and what. Now you're flipping it and saying it that
I'm not flipping.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. I said if your friends dictate the color of your skin, right? But if I'm living in an all-white neighborhood, of course everybody's going to be white.
I just said that.
And what did I say?
You said the opposite before I said that.
No. I said it dictates your skin color. But if you're in a neighborhood that's all white, of course everyone's going to be your skin color.
Bro, I'm going to clip this shit and send it to you. You are, bro.
It depends. Okay. I
about
said
that weather?
it depends your skin color, right? I said that. I said it all depends on your skin color. But if I'm living in an all white neighborhood, I'm going to have all white friends. If I'm white and I'm living in an all black neighborhood, I have no choice. That's out of my control. I have no choice but to be friends with the people who are around.
Why would you need control over it? That's who your friends are. What the fuck does his skin color have anything to do with?
Because you choose your friends. Your friends don't choose you. You choose who you want to be friends with. People don't come up to you and be like, hey, I want to be friends with you.
Spade, you got to re-listen to the shit that's coming out of your mouth. You like counter argument your own argument based off of what I said.
Just let him go. He'll negate his own stuff.
I'm arguing with myself, right?
Yes, you are. Like it.
I know.
Oh my God.
So next time we don't agree with Spade, we just let him go, and then after 5 to 10 minutes, he kind of proves that.
Agree with you. Okay, got it. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes, he did say that, Combat. Your friends don't choose you.
Yeah, I did say that. That was.
That also makes no sense.
That was wrong.
Then you only get to pick who your friends are. Your friends don't get to pick you. Yeah, okay.
No. I pick
Bro,
my
some
friends.
Of the shit that comes out of your mouth, man, I don't think it's like you don't. The way you process information is different than the rest of us. You just say shit that's
just ramble and keep talking until somebody is arguing with you. That's it.
Hold on, but no. Wait. At the end of the day.
Hold on. Let me show you something.
Oh my God. With this guy.
It is ingrained now, right? But explain to me why it's an African American instead of an American.
I don't think
I've argued that all of my life.
I don't hear many people say I'm African American. I just hear people say they're black.
That's it.
I don't hear that African American. So
the only time you hear something different is if, like, let's say for argument's sake, somebody says that they're Chinese. Oh, I'm Chinese American, or I'm Asian American, or whatever, or something to that extent.
I don't hear that anymore. If someone's
I've never heard a black guy say I'm African American. I've never heard a black guy say that, ever.
I've never heard a Chinese person say Chinese American.
Chinese American.
That I've heard.
I never heard that. You must have heard that shit in your own head.
I made it up. No, but I've heard that. I've never heard of.
Right? You got a microphone, a portable microphone, or a phone? I want you to do a little experiment with me. I want you to go around your neighborhood. You're going to need to get a set of balls for this and ask people Kamala or Trump and why. That's all.
Oh,
you don't have to
boy.
pick a side. I just want you to walk out to people and do it. I'll do it and you do it. We'll make a video from New York to Florida. What do we got?
Wow, that would be okay. All right, you got to pick a neighborhood though.
Ooh.
I can't because I know that if I go,
What's
let's
the
say,
most diverse neighborhood in Brooklyn? Diverse, black and white.
That's the one you get shot in.
No. You can't
No,
pick that.
no,
That's
no.
all gonna be Harris. You gotta.
All right, I'm gonna think about this. I'll have an answer by
Astoria,
tonight.
Queens, no.
I'm sorry.
Astoria, Queens.
That's all Greek.
That's what I'm saying. That's pretty diverse, right? You don't have to worry about someone saying Trump because of political reasons, or it's all going to be regular people. Nobody on one side. You get what I'm saying? When I'm saying diversity, I'm not talking about black and white. I'm talking about people that really have no agenda. They just. Do you have the balls to do that? To walk up to people and ask them and record them?
Yeah, why not? What's the issue?
No, I don't know. I mean, you're in New York. You're a one-party consent. I'm in a two-party, so it's a little bit more difficult for me.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I'll spin it differently.
No. You can't. They can't be any one-sided.
No, not one-sided. I'm thinking of spinning it differently because, like, let's say I go to the movie theater and I'm right before the movie or right after the movie, people are coming out. I could be like, hey, you just came out of the movie theater. I just got a quick question for you. Would you pick Harris or Trump? Who would you vote for?
Yeah.
That would be just anybody walking out of the movie theater. It doesn't matter what they
that's going to take a long time. I'm just going to walk up to people. I think I'm going to start doing it today when I go pick up lottery tickets. Do you mind if I record you and ask you a question real quick? Sure, go ahead. Boop. Trump or Harris? Harris. Why? Okay. Thank you.
That's it. That's all you want.
That's
who
it.
And why?
That's it. Nothing. Now, if they ask you who you're voting for, that's fine, but it has to be afterwards. So ask them if you can record them. Yes. Okay. Boom.
Okay. All right, and then I'll send you the footage. I'll send it all in one, and just do what you please with it.
Yes.
You can kind of go like, "Hey, we're doing an independent study."
We're doing an independent study.
You're giving too much information. Do you mind if I record you? Yes. Trump or Harris?
No, that could be afterwards. You could tell them that afterwards. After they give you the answer, you could say we're doing an independent study.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. If they, whatever, and just cut that out. You don't even need a microphone. You just do it with your phone. Trump or Harris?
Yeah.
Why? You don't have to put anything up to their face or nothing. Just boop, turn it on, go.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, I want to hear the differences between New York and Florida. I bet you New York's got a whole lot of Trumps.
A lot of Trumps.
Bet you they do.
You say that, but I feel like it's the opposite.
You think you're going to get a lot of Harrises?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I don't know. You spread it out. Don't just do Astoria. Maybe do your town. Do Flatbush.
I'll
Bensonhurst.
Oh, well, I live in Bensonhurst. I live in Diker, so that's
Bay Ridge.
2 blocks over. I could. Bay Ridge is more diverse than all of them. I could do that one. I could do Bay Ridge.
Bay Ridge's got a lot of Jews, though, man.
No, not anymore.
No? Really?
No. Now Bay Ridge has turned more diverse than you would think. It used to be the Bay Ridge used to be a neighborhood that was all like when it first opened up, it was Scandinavian, Norwegian, stuff like that.
Go to Sunset Park. There you go.
Sunset Park is going to be.
That's a good one.
All Harris. Harris.
That's a good one.
I guarantee it. I guarantee Sunset Park will be. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I haven't been there in years, so I don't know. It's probably changed.
Yeah. I would say Sunset Park would be all Harris.
I mean, just don't be scared. Just turn on. Just hey.
No, I don't.
Ask you a question. Record it real quick. Sure. All right. They say no. They say no. Okay, great.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're doing this. It's going to be fun. You got to fix that link. Yeah, there you go, Matthew. I was going to say your little thing you have is the wrong one. The second link is good. First link's not. Finally got monetized. And then, you know what I did last night? I realized that a lot of videos were hurting my channel. I unlisted every video. So you could still like link to it, but I unlisted every video. So when you look at my profile, every video is over 1,000 views.
Nice.
Because I feel like that hurts me when other companies see their video on there with only 100 views. Just get rid of it. Just unlist it.
Yeah.
Then eventually when the channel takes off, unlist it.
If you go through the site with the bikes, you can still find a video, right?
Yeah, they're still there. It's just unlisted on YouTube. Just if you look at my profile, you don't see them.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go get lottery tickets. You playing in Mega Millions, Spade? You should be.
I should.
At $1 billion.
Is it? Is it? That's what it went to, $1 billion now?
It's at 865 million or something.
I'm going to have to go play now.
Spade doesn't care. He's wealthy in mind.
I bet you.
Yeah, okay.
Moving to Florida, I bet you that. Yeah, $802 million.
Shit, $802 million. I'll just go to a different country. Forget the U.S.
Jesus. Yeah, even if you
you're one of those.
10%, even if you walk away with 10% of that,
you can still live comfortably with the interest from a savings account.
Even 5% of 2% of that, you can live comfortably with the interest.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to go get tickets. Thank you all for watching. You guys are beautiful. Jordan, we will see you next week if you're on here. Spade, since you don't know, he was taking a vacation and looking at his new homes. Maybe tune in to Discord more. Stay beautiful, everybody. See everybody next week.